and welcome back to my colouring quest. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to be just having a little bit of a random video from this Steampunk animal special of Colour in Heaven. I just want to work on a WIP and yeah, just try and get it finished really. So I have started this page, number 39, it's called Bird, just saw that paper behind, and yes, I've done her skin and her hair, so I'm hoping to just finish off the clothing and her eyes. I didn't even realise I hadn't coloured her eyes in. So yeah, so I will just get started. I am still at my brother's house, so this isn't the ideal setup, but I want to film and I want to colour, so this is what's going to have to do. I'm going to start off by colouring these ruffles. Yeah, this is a grayscale image, so it makes it a lot easier. And yeah, this design illustration is by Jennifer Zimmerman, and it's just an amazing design. So I want to do this sort of like a creamy sort of grey, but at the same time, like I've done with her skin and her hair, I've added colours that don't actually normally belong. So I'm going to try and add a bit of, well, you'll see as I do it. It's easier to explain as I'm actually doing it. Right, so to start with, I am going to actually go all over with this light peach because I want to, basically. When colouring, I just think of what I want to colour it as and sort of just go with it. So this will be my overall sort of tone, but it will probably end up looking like a different colour after I'm done. Like, it won't be so peachy, but the peach will still be there. Right, I'm not going to colour the bow in with this because I think I want the bow to be green, and I think I want this vest sort of, I'm imagining that she's got sort of this shirt on and then it's got this vest on top, and I want to do that brown. I want to keep it sort of, I don't know, is neutral the kind of word? Earthy sort of tones, and then all this, like the watch and all the metal on her hat, I want to do probably gold, and her earring. So there is still quite a lot left to be done. So hopefully I can get it all done and filmed. But if not, then I'm definitely going to be filming the whole of this. Just have to make sure I stay in the camera. I don't know if it'll be better to zoom in a little bit or not, but sometimes I end up moving the book and then it's not in focus anymore, but it's a bit difficult to see what I'm doing, so maybe I can try and adjust it just like that for now. Right, so that's the base layer down, and yeah, so I'm now going to, like I said, I want to add a bit of different colours. So I've got this slate grey, which is a dark brown, And I'm just going to go on these shadow bits, but only the very inner shadows, because like I said, I want to keep it like a creamy colour by the end, hopefully. So I'm just going to go over like the darker bits of the grayscale within this. Which is normally the inner sort of corners of parts of the detail. But sometimes it's difficult to tell, especially with ruffles, which way they are going. So it's always nice when you get a grayscale version and the shading's already pretty much in there for you, ready to colour on top. Right. Like after I've done the basically colouring it, I probably will get my black and go into the very corners of it, but at the moment I don't want to make it too dark. One of the cats is in here, so if he ends up knocking my camera or anything, please forgive him. But I have to have the door open for them to come in, else they'll start sort of moaning at the door. And it's just sad. Right, and then on her sleeve, so yeah, I will be blending this all together, probably with my white pencil, so even these browns aren't going to stay as deep. Right, I think that would do for the brown. That bit there is really confusing me a little bit. Like, sort of. Oh well, hopefully it'll be okay. Right, and then, oh, by the way, these colour pencils that I'm using are the Castle Art Gold pencils, and I literally have here all the colours that I have used on her skin and in her hair. And yeah, so I'm just using them also within the rest of the image. So next I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow in the lighter areas. And this is going to look weird until I've finished, because I do have like yellow highlights within her skin in some places. But I don't want to add too much of this because again, this isn't the main colour I'm going for. Just add it here and there on sort of just the parts where I believe would have the light more likely to hit it. Like on the, with these ruffles it's like I said, grayscaled a lot, so you can see where the white is where I'm going to be adding this yellow. But again, like I said, I'm not going to add it in all of it. because I don't want it to be fully yellow. Right, and next I'm going to add a little bit of this French rose, and yeah, I'm just sort of going to put that in, like in some of the shadows, or right next to some of the shadows. The shadows that I didn't want as dark to be brown, but are still shadows. I know what I'm saying probably makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense to me. Yes, with the shadow areas, I am actually going to blend the shadows together with a, what's it called, warm grey light. So that's going to dull down some of these like browns and pinks anyway. But that's what I need it to do, because I don't want bright pink showing through. Not this much anyway. Pink and yellow just makes you think of rhubarb and custard. Or those fruit salad sweets. I love those. I love the blackjacks as well, which some people are like, ugh. But I really like it. But then again, I like licorice as well. And a lot of people don't like that. I always find that I like the weird flavour things, and then when people say, oh, they've got something that's like lemon flavour or something, and I'm like, I don't like it, and they get confused that I don't like lemon, but I like I like a licorice flavour. I guess it's just everybody has different tastes for food. And yeah, apparently I don't like the more of the citrusy type flavours like lemon. I like some things that are orange flavour but not others. I'm not a fan of lime unless it's in certain, like lime has to be with something. Like Volvic has the kiwi and lime flavoured water, and I absolutely love that because I can also taste the kiwi flavour, and well, I love the taste of kiwi. So now I am going to get this warm grey light and just blend these shadows areas. And hopefully this will start looking more like a shirt. See this big open area, I'm not sure where to put my shadows and stuff, so I'm just gonna focus on this part a moment, and then I'll hopefully work it out as I'm going along. So that bit needs to be sort of highlighted now. It's really difficult sometimes to sort of figure it out, and because this sleeve just cuts off like right here, and like it would probably help if I could see the rest, but that's gonna have to do. And now into the ruffles. Again, there'll be parts of this where I'm like, does that that's supposed to be there. And yeah, it doesn't look very bold, but once I think I add the dark brown colour to the vest part, I think this will stand out more. But until then, it's just going to look quite pale. I mean, I need it to be pale, but I don't know how to explain what I mean. Hopefully you understand. That's always been my problem. I know what I mean, and my brain knows what I mean, but my mouth doesn't know how to say what I mean. The sun does keep coming in and out of those clouds today, so I'm hoping that this is okay and you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm pressing down quite hard on this, but I don't have it pointy because I want it just to be smooth. Right, that's the last bit on that ruffly bit I need to do. And like I said, I will put a slight bit of black in some of these shadows in a moment. Yeah, I do like colouring ruffles, but like I said, sometimes when you see an illustration and it doesn't have the grayscale, it can be difficult. Especially if it's like a very complicated ruffle, like there's lots of ruffling going on. I don't even know if you call this ruffles or if they have another name, but I'm just going with ruffles. Almost there. Probably should have sharpened this before doing this last ruffles, but if you can hear the cat, that's Bear. He can be quite chatty sometimes. I don't even know where he is. He's not even in the room, but I can hear him. That bit needs to be darker. That bit there, I feel like it needs to be dark. Right, before I add the black, I'm going to just go over these lighter areas with the white, just to smooth things out. And this is my Faber-Castell Polychromos white. When it comes to black and white, I just prefer to use the Polychromos. But also, my Castlelight Gold doesn't have a white anymore. No, it doesn't have a... Yeah, it doesn't have a white anymore because I used it all. And the black is on the small side. But with all my sets of colouring pencils that I own, I don't own that many, but the black and the white no longer exist. Because I used them all. And so yeah, I just buy the open stock Polychromos from Hobbycraft. They recently had a sale, an art sale on, and they had the Polychromo singles for cheaper, so I picked up a few. And yeah, a couple of colours that I thought, well, I use that a lot and it's cheaper to buy them at the minute, so I'm just going to buy one and have it as a spare. I think I got a light flesh colour, because I often use that as my lightest colour no matter what skin tone I do in the polychromos. And did I already blend these up here? I don't know. Because it's only smoothing out, sometimes it's hard to tell what I've already done. And yeah, and a couple of other colour pencils. I think there was one of the browns that I knew I had was getting small, and one of the blues. Yeah, I think it came to like £10, but should have been like £17 or something, which is good. Because normally they're £2 something in Hobbycraft each, and they were only £1 something. I think they were like £1.70. Yeah, I think you saved about 40p, which is quite good, because like pencils like that, they don't go on offer singly very often, and that was the first time I had seen it in Hobbycraft, so that was good. Right, the black, I'll just place it in like the very deepest areas. That might have been too much. Don't worry, because I can, if it looks bad after I've done them all, I can just blend it out with the white. Simple as that. But yeah, I think it just makes it sort of a bit more 3D. More realistic looking. But as I've said I think I've said this before anyway, when colouring people, I don't go full on realism. I sort of go almost realism. Like, I want to make them look human, but I don't need to add like the finer details of what you would add as if you were doing realism. Like, I'm not going to sit there and add in every pore on her face. I think I like how I do it, so I don't really want to change. I prefer the smooth outcome. And if you add every pore, can you imagine how long that takes? Like, I applaud anybody that goes for realism, I really do. So I enjoy drawing people. Like, if I'm a fan of something, I often end up drawing the characters. And yeah, if they're real people, I do try to get close to what they look like, but I sort of stop at this stage. Like, I still don't go in with the pores and that. But quite honestly, often when I'm drawing, I couldn't draw the pores in even if I wanted to. One, I don't have that much talent. And two, often you obviously have to colour and draw from reference photos, because I've never met anybody famous, let alone being a fan of something. So yeah, I only have other people's photos and official photos to go off of, and quite often they are edited, so they're not looking 100% natural, which is fine. But I hate it when I'm a fan of like K-pop and the Asian dramas, and quite often I'll see photos and they're really whitewashed, and I'm like, I want to see their natural skin tone. I don't even know if that's their actual skin tone, and I'm like, why can't they show the natural skin tones for people? There's like nothing wrong with their natural skin tone, so show it. But yeah, some people just feel like everything has to be whitewashed, and it really annoys me. Right, I think I'm just gonna go in and blend some of these shadows out because I think I went a bit overboard. But that will take like a minute, just going over them. It just, I was gonna say dilutes. Oh dear, that's made me laugh. I'll just dilute these pencils down. Brains are a funny thing, isn't it? Maybe it means I need a drink. I do have some water here. So I'm sorry if you find me weird. That's just who I am. Sorry, I'm just trying to quickly focus and get those done. I really should invest in one of those brushes to brush off the pencil dust, but it's a one thing, like when you order new supplies or you're in a shop and you're just like, you never remember. It's like a really random item and I just forget. Let me just completely see if I'm still in frame. Good. It's looking quite pink on camera, I think. My eyesight isn't seeing it that pink. Obviously I see the pink, but... Right. Brown vest time. And this here, it looks like this sort of vest material, so maybe these ruffles were meant to be attached to the vest. But I'm just going to go with the flow and colour this brown as I would this over here. I've just noticed another ruffle that I've missed. There is always something, isn't there? I mean, it's only tiny. So I think I'm just going to use the brown and the white on it. And maybe add a little bit of pink because that does look a bit odd. I don't know if my head just went into frame then. Hopefully not. Has a mess. And then a little bit of yellow. That would do. I say that would do and I just keep touching it. Right. So I'm going to take my slate grey brown again. And I'm just going to go over this a minute. Give it a layer. This vest is going to be quite dark. I'm not bothered about where the grayscale is on here really. Because everything's going to be quite dark anyway. Right. Do I think that that's a decent amount? Like, do I need to round it off a bit? Like I said, it's a bit difficult when the illustration just cuts off. Right. Like before, I'm going to add some other colours, and mostly this time I'm going to add the French rose. I want to carry on that pink sort of colour. I want it in some of these bits that are going to be lighter. So I am sort of following the grayscale, but it's not gonna be as visible as this shirt was. And then a slight bit of yellow on those lighter bits. Maybe I'll put a bit of yellow in this edging. Right, and now I'm going to, in these dark bits, I'm going to go in with the black because this is going to be dark brown. So these areas are going to be really black. And this is going to make those ruffles stand out more. I really do hope they're called ruffles, but at the same time I can't think of what else you would call them. Frills? Maybe? Who knows? It's a colouring page, it'll be fine. Right. Oops. Didn't make a mistake then, but it's with a black, so I'll just make a new line. Right, I am going to do the insides of that. Might make it easier for myself when I come to colour those parts. And I do think actually I'm gonna just join them up. I don't know, I feel like they need to be joined at that side for some reason. And I'll just leave the other side. The cats are playing, so if you hear them like thudding up and down the stairs, they are chasing a toy that they're playing with. It sounds like it's one of their shiny little rustly ball shaped things. Right, now I'm going back in with the slate grey again, and I'm just going to blend that black out, and it will just make it dark brown, which is what I want. I'm using a medium pressure, but I'm going over and over it, so it makes it fill in all that white space, hopefully. I might need to sharpen this. But it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of speckling whiteness, because I feel like this would have a slight texture to her vest anyway. I imagine it's sort of like, I don't know, was it like a wool blend sort of material? I'm not good with materials to start with, but yeah, I feel like the vests from sort of this period of time, they weren't completely smooth. I don't know what material it was, but you see like it in TV dramas and movies, and yeah, sorry, I think I just shook the table then. Go over these areas a bit lighter. I might have to add in a bit more of that pink because it's disappearing now into the brown and that yellow. That's okay. I think I will probably do her hat this brown as well, because I want to add the gold detailing. And I've just realised that I didn't add any of the black or anything over into this part over here. That's fine, I'll do that after I've finished here. I might do that, add that as like gold actually. I might tie it in with the rest of it. I'll try that in a minute. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, does it? Right, add a bit more of this pink in. Just where I sort of had it before, but I'm bringing it out a bit to blend in with the brown. And a bit more of the yellow, but when I go over this area with the brown, it's just going to make the brown like a bit lighter, which is fine. Right, back in with the brown. I'm not going to go completely heavy-handed on this. I'm going to probably get my white out, because I do want it a bit smoother than this, but I can't blend it together. Wow, now they're chasing each other. I don't know if like it's even picking up any of this sounds, but they're having their playtime. They're having fun. It's like before I started filming this, I was setting it up, and then the one cat just jumped on top of my colouring book and sat there for like 10 minutes, and with the other cat just staring at it like, what are you doing? Yeah, but I gave him some attention, and then he got down, and then I could finish setting up. But yeah, colouring with cats around isn't the easiest thing in the world. So anybody that has a cat that colours, well done to you for getting pages finished. Wow, they are really running up and down those stairs. But it's nice that there's two of them now, because to start with they only had one. And yeah, you had to give a lot more attention because he had nobody to play with. But ever since they've got the other cat, he's a lot more playful, a lot more energetic, I think. It's like I'm talking about him when he enters the door. He knows. I think I like that. Yeah, definitely need to get one of those brushes. But then, like I said, I've been colouring since the beginning of 2020, and I still don't have one, so the odds of me actually getting one seems to like decrease each year that I'm colouring, because I'm like, I haven't used one since this long. Do I really need to get one? And then I think, yes, I really do need to get one. And then, like I said, I just forget to get one. So I'm going to go with that yellow. Do that. Just do it yellow, I think. I'm not sure it needs too much going on, but I do want to do that inner edge again. I don't know, it just makes sense to do that in my head. But I don't think I need it on the other side. Right, I think that's her vest done. How is that looking? I can't even see it on the camera because I'm using my phone, and you slot it into the arm, what do you call it, an arm, and the little, like, you tighten it up around your phone. I do not know the terms for these things, but yeah, and it's literally covering, sorry, the part of the image that I've just coloured, so I can't actually see it on the camera, which is great. But yeah, hopefully that looks okay and you're not getting like some horrible glare or anything. I don't think so. I'm filming in daytime, so you don't normally get as much of a glare in daytime, I find. I don't know, I could be wrong. Right, I'm now going to colour this bow in green, and I have the phthalo green here, which I have used as shadow for her skin in certain places. I also used the blue shadow for her skin, and in her hair I've used this as well. Like I said, I just added like random colours into everything on this, trying to make it like black hair but not just solid black, a tan skin but not just like the same sort of colours I'd normally use, because normally I'd just use a purple as an undertone for the shadows, and I was like, but I like using my green and blue, but I don't do it often enough. I need to just practice more, I think. Right, anyway, I should have started this, so I'm just going to go in the shadow areas. I'm not putting the base of this all over yet because it's quite a dark green, and I do want to add some of that yellow and probably some of the blue into this actually. So I'm just doing the darker shadows. But yeah, there's quite a white rim around this, which I don't know if I'll keep it all the same colour. It's coming up to lunchtime. Actually, it probably is lunchtime already. Might have to take a break from this after doing this bow and then just come back. I am going to take my drink. If anybody has any suggestions for like videos I'd like to see, I'm always open to those. I have actually received some requests, which once I'm back home again and not at my brother's, I will try and film those. I mean, it made me so happy that somebody actually wanted to see me colour. I made this channel because I have fun colouring, and I have had people like comment and stuff, oh, I wish I knew how to do that. I've actually been asked before if I do have a YouTube channel or somewhere that I film, and well, at the time I didn't, and then it's like, that's what made me start wanting the channel. But then my shy, awkward self kept putting it off, and I would buy, like, I bought the, oh, what do you call it? I just like the camera arm, and I like bought things that I thought I needed. Like at home I had the mat on my desk, I bought that, and then I was like, yes, I'm ready to film now, and then I'm like still so nervous that it just took me a long time to actually film my first video. And then I filmed it and Gosh, I was so awkward. I'm still really awkward. It wasn't that long ago, but at least now I know that I can do it, and I've sort of got a little bit more confidence in doing it. But yeah, when it came up, like somebody subscribed, like just one subscriber, and like I was like really happy. And then yeah, to get a comment or anything, like even just like the like on a video, felt really nice, because even though I'm filming these to show people how to do things, or how I do them, don't get me wrong, not everybody colours like this, everybody has their own way, and there is no right or wrong way to colour, I don't think. If you're putting colour on the page, then you are colouring, and that's what works for you. But it's, like I said, people sometimes want to be able to colour like other people. I know I do. I watch a ton of colouring videos. They're not always like tutorial based, but like certain videos are like, I like the colour and chat videos, and I also rewatch live videos. I don't ever watch them actually live, but yeah. And yeah, it's just really helpful. Like, you learn without even realising you're learning. Whereas tutorials, sometimes it feels like you're in school. I have nothing wrong with learning in school, but it's a different process, isn't it? Like, I remember at school art was my favourite class, but like I felt invisible. Like, I just felt invisible anyway, but yeah, I never sort of received the same guidance as some of the other people in the class. I felt like I learnt more from my friend that was better at art with me than what I did my teacher, because I felt like I didn't get the attention. And when I actually asked for help, I remember one time, they were like, I hadn't even tried, but I had been sat there for half an hour, like trying to start and then rubbing it out and then starting again, and all I asked was, where do you think would be the best place to start when drawing what it was? And they were like, you haven't even tried yet, and literally walked away. And then literally 10 seconds later, like they literally walk around the corner of the table and there's somebody else sat there and they're struggling as well, and they have a blank page just like me, and they ask pretty much the same question, like wanting to know where to start. And this is the difference between me and them, because the teacher sat down next to them and started showing them how to start. And it's like, where was my help? And I'm a type of person that never asks for help unless I've already tried and really have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah. So I hope that teacher's changed since then. I don't know if they're still there, it was a long time ago. Oh, my throat's gone dry, sorry about this. No, it does make me a bit emotional, because quite honestly, it sort of happens throughout your whole life, doesn't it? Right. Right, I think I've added enough blue to that. I think I may have added too much blue. But hopefully when I go back in with the green, it'll greenen it up again. Greenen it up. These words today. Because I don't want it to be neon either. The yellow is making it look a little bit too neon for what I wanted. So I'm going to go right in there. And I will use the white to smoothen it out. Yeah, another thing with that that teacher, I ended up having them for like my GCSEs, and it's like, I think there were 3 art teachers at my school. I think it was 3. And yeah, I had them for like 4 of my years when I was there. So you'd think they'd get more understanding of who I am and stuff and help me. But it's like, yeah, it actually felt like it got worse, like I got less attention the more years went by. I know some people might think, well, they probably think that you can do it on your own, so they don't feel like they should be helping you as much. But like I said, I never ask for help unless I actually need it. Like I said, I had in that time I had sat there for quite a while trying to start this thing, and yeah, getting nowhere. That bit really doesn't look right. Like, I think it was, maybe that bit's too yellow. I don't know. I'll go in with the white and see how it looks, but first I'm going to sharpen it. I do like this colour that it's ended up though. It's like green, but not the green I was expecting. I like it when you get unexpected colours appear. Some people don't though, because some people, or most people, colour and they're like trying to get a certain colour. And obviously colouring pencils, you don't get every single colour pencil. You have to blend and make your own sometimes, and sometimes you're like, yeah, those 2 colours will make that perfectly, and then you're like, oh, what happened? That isn't anywhere near what I was going for. Yeah, when I finish this page I will just get a rubber and erase any of these marks. I think that's like a fingerprint smudge. I don't know. Right, I am actually going to take a break now and get something to eat because I'm starting to get extremely hungry. So it'll be like a minute, or not even a minute for you, just like a couple of seconds for you. But it'll probably be like an hour for me, maybe half an hour. It depends what I decide to have. So be back in a mo. Right, I am I'm back. It's been probably about an hour. Had a little break, including lunch, so right, just get right back into it. I want to colour this. I'm considering it like a ribbon tie for the necklace, and I just want to do it the same similar colour as I've done the bow here. So I'm just going to do the same again. So I went in first with this phthalo green. None of my videos are actually like tutorials. I don't consider myself right for tutorials. Obviously you can see how I do it anyway, so if you wanted to follow along on how I colour things, then that's fine, but yeah, I wouldn't actually consider it a tutorial because I don't know terminology or colour theory or anything like that, and I don't plan to. I just want to enjoy what I'm colouring, so yeah. None of my videos will be classed as tutorials. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing well. The weather today is quite nice. Got the washing out. It's probably dry by now actually. It's been out there about 3 hours. It was right before I started filming, like earlier. Bit of that yellow in there. And then, what was it? Just go over with the green lightly. Oh, lucky I didn't break my pencil then. And then white just to blend it together. I do like that colour combination. Right, and now I actually think I'm going to start on the hat, I think, because all of this is going to be the gold anyway. So I think I'll go move this up. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start yeah, I'm going to start with this hat. This part, I'm going to do that gold as well, but the hat trim and that I want to be the brown, like similar that I did on the waistcoat. I'm just got to sharpen my brown a moment. Anything else that needs sharpening? Not really. Right. I'm just gonna go in like I did on the waistcoat, base layer of this brown where the grayscale is. Some people really struggle with grayscale, and when I first saw it I thought, how are you supposed to colour that? But as soon as it clicked in my mind that you put the darkest colours where the darker grayscale is, and I didn't see an issue anymore. You have to find what way your brain processes things, I think. Like some people need things explained certain ways. Well, everybody needs things explained certain ways, but I have to, if I'm learning something new, I have to sort of be doing it as well as learning it. and it will take me a while to feel like I know how to do it. I think most people are like that though, but if it's something that includes a lot of steps, I like to have it like wrote down. Like this is more to do with non-colouring things though. I have to write things down and then like follow the steps so that I can get a better understanding of what it is I have to do in the right way. Right, so I'm going to add a bit of that pink and yellow again, like I did before. So I think it created a nice colour effect on that waistcoat. The yellow. And I think I'll do this, put the base of the yellow down on this in a moment. And I'm going to put my black in these darker parts that I want to create. I've got a colour inside of the mechanical parts. You know, I always forget things like that, you know, because it's not always obvious that it's there. And she's got like this steampunk, it's like a train whistle, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, that sort of lines up well enough, for me anyway. I'm happy with that. So I was going with black in parts, because I think that area would be pretty dark. So it'd have the shadows from everything on it, wouldn't it? And there would definitely be darker. And I'm just going in with my brown again. Blend all these darker areas together. Oh, I missed a bit again in there. Do. Every time I say that would do, I just think of Shrek and Donkey. I'm not going to say it though. No. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I'll get a bit more pink in there in a moment. It's always a bit difficult to know the right amount to put in to start with, so it's easier to just go back and forth for me. And then I think I just go in with the white. Oh, I can hear an ice cream van outside somewhere. I mean, it's nice outside, but I'm not sure I would consider it ice cream sort of fun weather. But then again, I remember weeks when we've had lovely weather and you don't see an ice cream van, and then it'll rain for a week and the ice cream van will turn up every day. And it don't make sense. It really doesn't. And I've completely forgot that bit in there. Right. Now for this trim part, I'm going to have it yellow, but add the shadows in with the brown. Just sort of doing the shadows where they were on it. Although I'm going to get a different yellow because I feel like the yellow I'm using at the moment is a bit bright. So look at my sheet, and I think the cadmium yellow would be a better option. Just sharpen that because I've used it recently. Quite a nice golden yellow, I think, so I'll probably use it in for my gold areas. So I just go over the brown again, blend it out, because this is pretty much how I colour gold anyway. Normally there's a brown, this yellow most of the time, and then a brighter yellow. So I just get that yellow from earlier and I use that to blend. Give it more of that. Put a bit more of that in there because it dulled it down a bit when I added that white. Right. I've noticed in a few of these I should have had the hair colour behind, in between the wheels, the cogs, or whatever you want to call them. So just put black in there. Right, now I am going to do all my gold. Makes sense while I have the colours here. But I'm just going to do a yellow layer, light yellow layer to start with. Makes sense to me. And I'm not worried about going over the bits that I just coloured because they're already coloured and it's brown. Because I already have that colour in a lot of the parts anyway. Check in a minute, make sure I'm still in frame. I don't think I've moved, but because I can't see my camera unless I stand up, I'll have to check. I just want to put my base layer of this down. I don't know whether to do a background in this. I don't think I will. I think I'll just keep her as is. I have looked up a reference image for some coloured birds. Some little colourful birds, and I found a blue one that I think I'm going to use. I don't know what type of bird that is. It's quite a generic bird look. I just coloured out the lines. I'm also going to put this on her earring and that the watch necklace, but you won't be able to see that, I don't think, because I zoomed in at the top, but you'll see when I move down to colouring that part properly. While I've got that in my hand. Right, so I'm going to take this cadmium yellow. Oh, make sure that I am in. Yes, you can see. Good. And just pretty much do what I did on that. So I'm just going to go into these darker grayscale areas. I will be going in with like a brown and black, but when colouring gold I like to work from the lightest colour, because if you add the yellow last you just get a muddy mess. And yeah, you don't want that, not if you want a clean shiny gold, or attempt to have a clean shiny gold in my case. Sometimes it works out perfectly, and then other times I'm like, why didn't that work? I did exactly the same thing as I always do. But with gold, or anything that's shiny, like one wrong shadow and it just looks awful in my case. Make sure I remember all these gaps, although a lot of them will have the brown in because it's what would be a shadowed area. I wish I saw more people colouring in Colour in Heaven magazines, because they're quite accessible to most people, well, especially in the UK, but they're even available a lot of places around the world, and they're not expensive. I suppose though it depends. If you like colouring people, then they are perfect, and fantasy, because they are a fantasy colouring magazine. Some people don't seem to understand that, but yeah, so their themes are fantasy based, and then that's for the specials, and then they'll have collection issues, which can be a lot of other things. Like you have characters like did they have a Holly Hobbie and a Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, I think, Wallace and Gromit, and then but they've also had like collections of things like Vikings and chibis. Like that chibi collection is one of my favourites. But yeah, and then they have compendiums, which features, like, say they have a compendium for witches, then they'll gather previous witch illustrations and they'll compile them into a compendium. Not all the witch illustrations, but like the best of their witchy illustrations. But yeah, and then they do have some free downloads on their website, which is always good for anybody that's like, I've never had a colour in heaven before. Wonder what their illustrations are like to colour. But obviously you do have to have a printer. And they have the yearly calendar, which I don't really get the calendars because I'm not really a calendar person, and they've just gone digital with their newest calendar, I believe. Yeah, again, you have to have a printer for that. I do have a printer, so I'm okay. I'll download digital or buy the books, that's fine by me. And digital's good for people around the world, but not everything they have in their books is available as a digital version because, well, they have to have permission for digital versions, obviously, because they were only originally contracted for the magazine. And so yeah, if a artist isn't wanting to collaborate for a digital version, then I'm guessing that won't be available digitally, obviously. Right, so as you can see, I'm just going in with the black, sort of where they have the darker grey scale. It really does bring a page alive, black. Just add a bit there. I do need to go in, I think, with a bit of brown though. Although, it's not looking that bad. I quite like it. It's these cogs that are putting me off, like, they're at a weird angle and I'm not sure where the best place to put shadows is. And then you've got this bit that's behind, and it's like, I don't want to do that fully black because it wouldn't be, but it's also hard to tell where those shadows would be. I do believe the lighting in here is getting a bit worse now the sun's not in, but I think it's okay on camera because I do have the small ring light on. Is there anybody that has the Colour in Heaven magazines? What do you think of them? Another thing is they changed their paper. They had to change to a different paper because of everything going up in price. They wanted to still be able to sell the magazine at a reasonable price. So they had to change their paper, but I get along with the paper fine. Other people have had their issues, but yeah, I'm fine with the paper that they've used, both past and present. The books are slightly smaller now as well, but they just cut off like the inner bit, so if I don't know, is it like a centimetre? Like you can probably see at the side here, like this is an A4 sheet and I just pop it in, so it's like a centimetre smaller than A4 size, whereas before you put the A4 size sheet behind the page and that was pretty much the same size. yeah, I have no problem with that either. Obviously you wish everything could stay good, the better quality and the same price, but that's not the way the world works, is it? Yeah, that one a bit off. Again, this is easier gold because it already had the grayscale, so I'm just putting the black in where the grayscale was, or where my darker colour is starting. Or just simply where a shadow would generally be. But that's not always obvious either, is it, where the shadows go? As you can probably tell, I've run out of things to talk about. But I don't want to just leave this here because I want you to be able to see the page finished, and I'd rather show you it as I'm coloring it than just go boop, done. Might not add any more yellow into that actually, because I think it looks quite a nice, brown, sorry. It's like a pale gold. I don't like this though. That is really annoying me, like I don't know how to make that look better. I might just put some more of the gold on that. Maybe it's too white. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that one. But that's okay. It's just one cog, isn't it? One cog in the machine. I can live with that. Right, so now I'm going to move you down and colour. Let me just make sure. And colour the earring and the watch necklace. So again, I'm going to just sharpen this yellow because there are some small spaces, and the black as well, because I need a point on that. I'll start with the key earring. It shouldn't be too hard. That actually has a pearl inside there, which I don't know what colour to do that. That key was very simple. Now for a necklace. It might take a little bit longer. Gone into concentration mode. Hope you don't mind. obviously I will shade that watch face in. I believe her earring would unlock her necklace. That's how I would think of it anyway. Quite a cool idea, isn't it, to have an earring that can unlock a necklace. I do find it amazing, people's imaginations. Oop! Press too hard. God, that was really loud as well. As you can see, I've already put most of the shadow in when I was doing the skin. I am just going to sharpen this black again because I need a small point to colour in those handles on the clock. Handles? Hands. Oh my gosh. But I'm going to try not press down hard because, well, you know what happened last time. Sorry if you're unable to see, I've got to hold the pencil at this angle a moment. I'll do little nowhere. Oh, I think I did that in the wrong place. Oh well. I'm just going to get my white and blend that black. And then I'm going to take my white Posca pen and just some sort of white detailing. Put a bit on this as well. And then on the key, right, and I will just put some on the mechanical hat part. May not be able to see it very well because it's I'm not going to do much. Of course, it's easier to see when you're using it on darker colours. Obviously, there's more contrast. Try and bring some of those back in because I think that's where I went wrong. You can no longer see the details of the cog. That looks slightly better than what it was. I'm happy with that. Right, I am going to colour the pearly earring bit. I think I'm going to colour it in pink, this French rose that I've been using. I'm not going to do much, I'm just going to like that, and that's that. Right, now I want to do her eyes. Are you able to see? Yeah. And I'm just going to take the blue I've been using, which is the primary blue, and just colour in her eyes following the grayscale that's already there. And I'm going to get the black. I'm going to get a bit of this yellow. Right, and then a bit of this light peach in on the actual eyeball. And the white. And then I'm just going to take, I do apologise. I do apologise. My brother's neighbour has an extremely noisy car and there's nothing I can do about that. So I did pause the video while they were leaving, and I can't actually remember where I was now. Oh yes, right. I am going to take the black and just very lightly go over these upper parts of the eye, because that will be, I like to add the shadow there. I don't know if I should. And then you'll notice I went over some of the light spots, so I'm just going to take my Posca and add some back in. And that's her eyes done. And now the only thing I think I've got left is the bird. So I'm just going to move you up a bit. That should be okay. Do you want it zoomed in more, or is that good? I think that might be okay. It's only a little bird anyway. And I'm just going to find my reference image because I'm no good with colouring birds at all. Right, so I'm going to take my blue, my primary blue, and just place it on the parts which on the illustration, I mean photograph that it is, which is on this area. I think it's some sort of blue bird, but it's not all blue. There's a little bit of blue showing through on the wings. That's the blue. I'll come back in a bit and do more to that. Now I need a brown that I'm not already using. I think I need terracotta. The terracotta light. Yeah, terracotta light. Where are you? Let's give that a sharpen. Sort of like that. A bit around the beak. And then it's on the wings. I do need to darken some of that up, but I'm just going to use it as the base layer. Right, and now I'm going to use my slate grey brown again. And do the dark parts, like the beak. It is only a small bird, so it's not going to have the best detailing. I'm going to add a little more detail than what I could see. And then the other wing. And Now this wing is a different shape than in my reference image because I have an image that's showing the bird more. This wing is over here in my image, so I'll just try and follow what I did over here. I don't know if it'll work or if it'll look good, but that will do. Little feet. Again, these are barely noticeable, so now on this part of the bird in the illustration, I keep saying illustration, I mean photo, it's actually a creamy colour, but there was grayscale there, so I might go in with my Posca pen to make it white. Yeah, either way, I'm already happy with this colour. Right, I will just make the blue a bit brighter because it is quite a bright bird. But not all of it's bright. Right, in the wings that's not as bright. Now I'm going to do that Posca part, and then when it dries a bit, I can, although I might not have to because I haven't pumped it in a while, it's still coming out quite transparent. Wings in the photo, it looks like some white edging. Really happy with that. Just take my white pencil and blend that a bit because it looks a bit rough because I've only done a light layer on the wings. We'll go around that. That won't be dry enough yet for me to go over. That bit might be because I did that bit first. Anyway, I'm happy with that. I think she's done. So let me just zoom out a bit so you can see more of the illustration. I'm not sure if I turn that off a minute. You might be able to see it better now because the lighting was getting a bit, I'm not sure if it's gone a bit glary for you, but I will look back on it and hopefully it'll be okay. Right, I hope you've enjoyed watching me finish this WIP. in the, gosh, what was it called? The Steampunk Animals Special of Colour in Heaven. This was illustration number 39, Bird. And yeah, until the next video, I hope